25.
Today is the 25th of Jestha 2082. So see, and this is the batch of 2083 SE. Next year you are going to appear in SE or not? And 2085 SLC. Your SLC will be conducted when you will be in class 12, right? So still some years are left. And what do we do in our school? Learning by presenting also, right? This presentation also carries some marks. So what system we have developed? The person who is presenting must prepare the slide. But last time there was some adli badli. Slides of Nirajans were presented by Sarvani and Rakshak, and today slides of Sarvani will be presented by Nirajan, right? So everybody know today's presenter is Nirajan Shrestha. He is going to present on the topic classification of organisms. Slowly, not in a hurry. Everybody learn, and don't give a muskan to your friend.
So, namaskar everyone, good morning to you all. As you all know, it's me Nirajan Shrestha, one of your friend. So, the slides is presented is made by Sarvani Gautam, our classmate. So, the topic is classification of living beings. Now, without wasting our valuable time, I'd like to start the presentation. So the first reading is in the topic of classification of organisms. Organisms, why they classified organisms? So we all know there are many organisms living in our surrounding. So those organisms, they do have different type of characteristics, their mode of nutrition, they are all different. So why are the organisms classified? They are classified to make the study of organisms easy, so that we can learn about the organisms in an easier way. We can learn the characteristics, and so we are given some points. So classification of organisms, its importance of classification. So these all are, I guess, the table of contents. So the table of contents are importance of classification. So today we are going to be discussing about these topics: binomial system of nomenclature, genus and species, hierarchical system of classification, 7 main categories used in classification, and 5 kingdom classifications. So these all are the table of contents that we are going to study today. So the first topic is given: what is classification of organisms? As I said, what is classification of organisms? It's given organizing all the living organisms into different groups and subgroups based on the characteristics and differences are known as classification of living beings. Living beings and organisms. In living beings, plants also include. So those organisms, they have different type of characteristics, right? So they differ from each other according to their mode of nutrition, their characteristics like their complexity of cells and many more. So they differ from each other. So they differ from each other, and to make the study easy. So we have to make the study easy. So scientists can prove maturity. So to make the study easy, organisms are classified. So it can be defined as classification of living beings is the process of organizing all the living organisms into different groups and subgroups based on their characteristics and differences. So let's give on a chart characteristics of classification of living beings. So we can see living beings are classified into 5 kingdoms. They are kingdom Monera, and kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. So today we are going to be discussing about all of these subgroups. Yes. The next slide is given on the topic importance of classification. So importance of classification. So what is the importance of classification? As I said before also, many organisms have different type of shape, size, different complexity of cells, different mode of nutrition, etc. So what is the importance of classifications? As we discussed just before about the definition of classification, now we are going to be discussing about the importance of classification, why is classification needed, and what does it help in our daily life. Uh, First point, it makes the study of wide variety of organisms easy and systematic way. As I said, in science we have to study about many different topics in fields and branches. So in one of them, it makes the study of a variety of organisms easy. There are millions of different type of organisms with their own names, with their own characteristics. So they differ from each other. So after classifying them, we can just learn about them easier, about their features and characteristics. So classification, it helps to make the study of wide variety of organisms easy and in a systematic manner. So the second point is it forms a base for the study of other biological science. So classification, as there was the chart given above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were the first one was Monera. So so in this chapter we are not going to be talking more about two kingdom classification, but just about five kingdom classification. So the first kingdom, so we all know about the five kingdom classification. So first two kingdom classification was proposed by Sir Carolus Linnaeus, but it was not widely accepted by the international scientists. So later on, Robert Harding Whittaker, he proposed the five kingdom classification. So he proposed the five kingdom classification and classified all those organisms into five different kingdoms. They were Monera, Protista, fungi, and Animalia. So these all were those kingdoms in which Sir Robert Harding Whittaker classified those organisms into. So after classifying these groups, kingdoms, so it was very much easy for those students and scientists to form a base for the biological science, for those people who study biology and tries to be a biologist. So that third point is it helps to understand how organisms evolve with time. Yes, so we have already studied about evolutions of organisms as well. So classification, we all know about the theories and evidences of evolution of organisms as well. So by the help of classification, we get to know about how organisms evolve with time. Like we human beings, called as Homo sapiens in scientific name. So we were not the same like 20 years before, 100 years before. We were not the same. We had some disabilities in our bodies. Like we used to have a tail. A small point is still there in our back. We can just feel it out. So by the means of classification, we can learn about how the organisms have evolved with time as the time has passed by. The fourth point is given. It helps to understand the interrelationship between different organisms. So we live in our surrounding. So there are different organisms living in our surrounding. So in a family as well, everyone is interrelated with. Everyone is dependent on each other. Likewise, classification helps us to understand the interrelationships between different organisms. We studied about ecosystem, consumers, producers, and decomposers. Likewise, there is interrelationship between all the organisms living in our surrounding. So classification helps us to learn about it. So that is the next slide. So next topic is given binomial system of nomenclature. So binomial system of nomenclature. So from the word binomial, we can learn that bi, it means two, and so binomial system of nomenclature. So it's given here the system of assigning the scientific name to living organisms in two Latin words. First generic name and second specific name is called as binomial system of nomenclature. So binomial system of nomenclature is the process of assigning the scientific names to organisms according to their first generic name and the second gonna be the specific name. So the process of assigning the scientific names to organisms by adding the first generic name and second specific name is called as binomial system of nomenclature. So it's given a generic name. Generic name is also called as genus, and the specific name is called as species. We are going to be learning about it as well. So he has given a small picture. It's written Homo sapiens sapiens. Oh no, it's given Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens is the scientific name of for modern humans, the only extant species of the genus Homo. So, as I said, we human beings we were not evolved from millions years ago. First, we did have some disabilities as well. So we can see it's us, the Homo sapiens, the evolved ones, and we can see that our ancestors they were not totally developed like how we are today. So that was all about this slide. Oh, there is next one as well. So the next is given about tiger. So the common name of this organism it's tiger. So but its scientific name is given here Panthera tigris. So the Panthera which is given here it's the genus name, genus of the tiger, and the tigris is the species name, specific name. Yes. Uh, so next here is given about genus. So what is genus? We are going to learn about it. A genus is the first higher category above the species level. It is the assemblage of related species. A genus usually have correlated characteristics and they have evolved from common ancestors. So genus we just discussed about the name of two organisms, human beings and then human beings and tiger. Now we are going to learn about genus. So what is genus? We just read. So it's given a genus is the first higher category above the species level. So now we are going to discuss about the hierarchical system of classification as well, in which we have to draw inverted pyramid, and just we have to make 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We have to make this 5 kingdom class, no, 5 classification groups. So species is the smallest one, the basic unit of classification, and the one that comes after a species and the higher category of a species is genus. So genus is given. Genus is the first higher category above the species level. It means to say just this one. It's the higher category above the species. That was all about this genus. Species. Species can be defined as a group of plants and animals which are closely interrelated structurally and functionally. They can be interbred freely and produce fertile offspring. So species, we know species is the basic unit of classifications. As given, species can be defined as a group of plants and animals which are closely interrelated structurally and functionally. Species is the group of organisms, plants and animals, in which the organisms they are related with each other structurally and functional. Structural and functional means their complexity of cells or their structures they might be the same, and their functions of organisms they might be the same. It means like that they can interbreed freely and produce fertile offspring. We have heard about interbreed. So interbreed it means producing an offspring by uh, by mixing the breed of lion and tiger, called as liger. Yes, not more. Wow. So now it's given our hierarchical system of classification. As I just said before about the inverted pyramid, it's all about this. So it's given a taxonomy. Hierarchy is the arrangement of categories by providing the rank to each category. So the process hierarchical system of classification is the arrangement of categories by providing the rank to each category. Species is the basic classification unit of classification. And so let's see what's given here. It's given here animals and the scientific names. It was in our book as well, so it's given here more. So these are important ones. So we have in examples it might come write the scientific name of bat, beer, etc. So these are all about those. Not only of animals but the scientific names of plants as well. So it's given here. These plants I don't know what these are, okra something. Okay, so these are all the scientific names. And so plants, so we also call it as botanical names as well, not only scientific names. So botany is the field of science that discuss about the plants. Okay, so Now it's given there are 7 main categories used in classification. So as I said, species is the basic unit of classification. Then after it comes genus, then family, then order, class, phylum or division. In plants it's called a division. And at last the largest unit of classification is kingdom. So okay, we have to make a pyramid as it's given in species, genus, family, order, class, phylum or division, and then at last it's the kingdom. So it was given about 7 main categories used in classification. So the next topic it's it's given as 7 levels of taxonomic classification for the lion. Oh, okay, right. So it's given just now we discussed about seven groups for the 11 levels for the taxonomic classification for organisms. Now we are going to discuss it about lion. So it's a lion. Yes, it's lion. So like this is the one we have to make such pyramid, inverted pyramid, and then it's given a line. So we have to draw a line here if possible. So it's given here from genus, but we know the basic unit of classification is species, right? So we have to mention the species as well as given here. Species, you can write the statements. So we have to write the species of the lion first. First species we know the scientific name of lion is Panthera leo. So we have to write leo. And the genus is given Panthera. So we have to mention it here. It's good here I use Panthera. Then its family is Felidae. Its order is Carnivora. Its class is Mammalian. Oh, it's the same. It's the same as so domain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, it's given our domain. We don't have to study about it right now. So that's different matter. So okay. So now here is given our 5 kingdom of classification. As I said, kingdom classification. So there were 2 kingdom classifications at first, propounded by Sir Carolus Linnaeus, but it was not widely accepted by scientists due to some defaults in them. So later on, Robert Harding Whittaker proposed the 5 kingdom classification in 1969 AD. So while he proposed the 5 kingdom classification, he classified those organisms into 5 different kingdoms. They were at first, as I said, it was Monera. So Monera, then it came Protista and fungi. So in 2 kingdom classification, there were already those 2 kingdoms, Plantae and Animalia, and later on, Sir Robert Harding Whittaker he proposed the 3 more kingdoms, Monera, Protista, and fungi, and then later on proposed the 5 kingdom of classification. System. So it's given here about 5 system of classification was based on the following criteria. So Sir Robert Harding Whittaker he proposed the 5 kingdom of classification in 1969 AD. So while he proposed the 5 kingdom of classification, we classified those organisms according to the following criteria. So it's given a complexity of cells, and it's given a prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So complexity of cells, it means the nucleus of the cell totally developed or not. So it's given about prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So prokaryotes are those type of cells in which the nucleus is not totally developed, and those cell membrane bound organisms, they are not totally developed. So but in eukaryotic cells, the nucleus present in them is totally developed. So Sir Robert Harding Whittaker proposed or classified those organisms according to the complexity of cells as well. And body organization is given unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular means it only contains one cell in its body, but multicellular it means two or more. So, Sir Robert Harding Whittaker classified those organisms according to their number of cells in the body, organized in the body, and the third one is mode of nutrition. Mode of nutrition: how do they get nutrition in their body? So it's given autotrophs and heterotrophs. So autotrophs is the term which can be defined as those type of organisms who can prepare the food by themselves and don't have to depend on other organisms. But heterotrophs, these are those type of organisms which depend on other organisms for their food. Yes, yes, it's given the same. So not only three were there are more. Yes, it's given our lifestyle. It's given decomposers, consumers, and producers as well. So decomposers, they decompose the dead and decaying body, organic matter. They decompose the dead and decaying organic matter, convert them into the simpler forms, and then consume it. So consumers, it's producers, consumers, and decomposers. So it's the down according to the lifestyle of the organisms. So producers are the plant who produce their own food by the process of photosynthesis. They are green plants. And consumers, there are three types of consumers as you know: primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. Decomposers, by the name of decomposer we can remember about fungi and bacteria. So these are so according to the lifestyle of organisms. Also, the organisms were classified in 5 kingdom classification by Robert Harding Whittaker. So it's given our phylogenetic relationship of organisms. Then it's given back. So, as discussed before, it's given our 5 kingdom classification. So the kingdom that were in 5 kingdom classification, it was Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. It's given prokaryotes. Monera, their cell were not totally developed, and the nucleus present in them, it didn't have all the cell organelles. It was not well developed. So Protista, it was unicellular eukaryotes. So only Monera was the kingdom in 5 kingdom classification in which prokaryotes were located. So other all those in all of those kingdoms, eukaryotes were there. So it's the same multi. So the next slide. Okay. So now we discussed about the name of organisms. Now we are going to be discussing about those kingdoms. The first kingdom is Monera. So they have unicellular microscopic prokaryotic. They are unicellular microscopic prokaryotic organisms. Unicellular, it means those organisms which are classified in kingdom Monera, they only had one single cell. They were single celled and microscopic. They can't be seen with our naked eyes and need ultra microscope to view. And prokaryotic organisms means their nucleus were not well developed, and it's given as generally they have a rigid cell wall. The cell wall is rigid. The membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi complex, etc. So it means to say that those membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria and Golgi apparatus, they are all absent in the kingdom Monera. So where absent, you just mean to say that in kingdom Monera those membranes are bound cell organelles. So inside the cell, those organisms which are present, they are just absent. So they, sorry, what is this? So it's theory, or is there So their mode of nutrition are autotrophic, parasitic, symbiotic, and saprophytic. You know autotrophic. Uh, some of them used to produce the food by themselves, so called as autotrophic. Parasitic, they depend upon their host. They depend upon other organisms for their food. They used to get it from them. Symbiotic, uh, symbiotic, it means they used to live in the body of other organisms but don't harm them. And saprophytic, that's all about Monera. Oh. Then it's given here about kingdom Protisha. They are primitive. They are primitive eukaryotes as they have a true nucleus. True nucleus means their nucleus is truly developed and all the cell organelles are present in the cell. So they are primitive eukaryotes. They usually have flagella, cilia, pseudopodia as locomotory organs. Salad. Yes, okay. About they usually have flagella, cilia, or pseudopodia as locomotory organs. So locomotory organs. These are those type of organs that are used by organisms to locomote from one place to another. So the organisms classified in Protista, they used to bear organisms like flagella, cilia, or pseudopodia in them. So they could locomote from one place to another. Locomotion means to transport from one place to another, to move from one place to another. So they reproduce by both asexual and sexual method. The process of reproduction in kingdom Protista, it was by both the asexual method and the sexual method. Their tissue in kingdom Protista, the tissue system is absent there as cell differentiation, cellular differentiation. Cell differentiation did not exhibit because the tissue system is absent, and in kingdom Protista, the tissue system was absent. Yes. So as given about the organisms which are classified in kingdom Protista: amoeba, euglena, slime mold, diatom, paramecium, dinoflagellate, and macroalga. So it's not the same. The next kingdom is kingdom fungi. So it's the third kingdom of classification. So it's given here. They show the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So it's just the characteristics. So they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. As I said, heterotrophic mode of nutrition means fungi, they could not produce their own food as they are non-green and they could not produce their own food. So they are heterotrophic, means they are heterotrophs, and they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It means they could not produce their own food and did have to depend on other organisms to get their food. It's given here that their cell wall is made up of chitin. So fungi, they do have cell as well. So in the cell wall, so it's a cell. So the outermost layer of the cell is called cell wall. So this cell wall in organisms which are classified in fungi, the cell wall were made up of substance called chitin. So the third point, it includes the non-photosynthetic multicellular organisms. Non-photosynthetic, so green plants, also known as producers, they are photosynthetic as they are green in color, and they can perform the process of photosynthesis for producing their food. But in those organisms which are presented in kingdom fungi, they were non-photosynthetic as they were non-green and can't produce their food by themselves. And they are multicellular organisms, means they had many cells in their body, like 2 or more cells. Their body were organized by a mixture of 2 or more cells. So it's given and they reproduce by both sexual and asexual method. They are known as decomposers. Fungi, they are mainly known as decomposers as they decompose the dead and decaying matter. Next is given about, that was all about it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Nirajan. So, as usual, Nirajan comes with very lovely presentation. So, let me call on the stage the person who has prepared this slide. Who made this slide? Come here. Because others also they must know who has done this slide. So, these slides, yeah, these slides were made by Darbani Gautam. That's great. So, sorting things you have to keep, no? So, you should not keep many more things. Sometimes, what do the children do? They just keep a whole paragraph over there. It becomes difficult to explain. So, she has just mentioned here the required things, like heading is here, and what is this? These are the contents, table of contents, importance of classification, binomial system of nomenclature, genus and species, hierarchical system of classification, 7 main characteristics, categories used in classification and 5 things in classification, and discuss it, right? So learn from these slides how she has prepared. Next week, which turn is there? Jane single or you have a friend? Are you going to single? So who will prepare the slide? You. Okay. So coming week means coming Sunday, there is presentation by Jane on the chapter mushroom, right? So you find out your turn. Actually, students they have to present themselves in classroom and in laboratory also. Then it will be quite better as well. Coming Friday also there is a lab presentation, right? So who is going to present? Which duty is there? Servant duty is there. So just prepare. Are you going to do single? Single? Who is the friend? Sugam, and you just think, make the best one, right? Okay, please go. So it's very good. I had given you some question answers last Friday. So take out your copy, read all those question answers. I will ask you because there must be questions answers set in mind as well, so that you can present nicely. Okay, please start reading. Your time starts now.